The colony ship Silken Dawn had been drifting through empty space for 3 long cycles. Its engines were dead, its power was dying, and its people were losing hope. Commander stood at the bridge window and looked out at the endless darkness. She was old now. Her shell had cracks in it. Her 6 eyes were tired. She had led her people for 40 years. She had never failed them before, but now she did not know what to do. The asteroid had come from nowhere. It had hit them hard. The engines broke. The food storage was damaged. And now they were floating in a part of space that no one ever visited. Navigator walked up beside her. He was younger than, but his hands were shaking. His antennae twitched with worry. "Commander," he said quietly, "we have maybe 10 days of power left. After that, life support will fail." Closed her eyes. 10 days, 4,000 of her people, children, elders, families, all of them would die in the cold darkness of space. "Is there nothing we can do?" she asked. Hesitated. "There is one thing, the old distress beacon, the one from before the Galactic Council. It still works." "That beacon is ancient," said. "No one uses that frequency anymore." "I know," replied, "but it is all we have." Thought about it. The beacon would send a signal out in all directions. Maybe someone would hear it. Maybe no one would. But doing nothing meant certain death. "Activate it," she ordered. Went to the old console and pressed the buttons. The machine was dusty and forgotten. No one had touched it in generations. But when he turned it on, a small green light blinked to life. The signal went out into the void. What did not know was that the beacon was pointing toward a region of space called Quarantine Zone 7. Every star map in the galaxy had a warning about this place. The warning said, "Do not enter, do not respond, primitive, aggressive, avoid." They did not know who lived there. They did not know about the blue planet called Earth. They did not know about the creatures called humans. But the humans heard them. Far away on Earth's moon there was a small station. It was called Lunar Relay Station 7. Its job was to listen, to watch, to wait for anything strange in the nearby space. Lieutenant was on duty that night. She was young, with sharp eyes and quick hands. She sat at her console, drinking coffee and watching the screens. It was a quiet night, nothing unusual, just stars and silence. Then her screen blinked. She put down her coffee and leaned forward. A signal was coming in. It was weak, it was old, and it was not human. Ran the signal through the translation software. It took a few seconds. Then words appeared on her screen. "Help, our ship is damaged. We are dying, please, anyone help us." Her heart beat faster. This was real. This was an alien distress call. She pressed the button to call her commanding officer. Captain arrived in 2 minutes. He was a tall man with gray hair and calm eyes. He had been in the military for 30 years. He had seen many things, but he had never seen this. "What do we have?" he asked. "Alien distress call, sir," said. "They say their ship is damaged. They are asking for help." Looked at the screen. He read the message. He checked the location. Quarantine Zone 7, the forbidden area, the place where humanity was supposed to stay hidden. He thought about it for only a moment. "Open a channel," he said. Looked at him with surprise. "Sir, the council says we are not supposed to make contact. They say we are too dangerous, they say." "I know what they say," interrupted, "but someone out there is dying, and they asked for help." He picked up the communication device. He took a deep breath, and then he spoke. "This is Captain of the United Earth Emergency Fleet. We hear your signal. We understand your situation. Help is coming. Hold on." The message traveled through space. It took only minutes to reach the Silken Dawn. When heard the response, she felt her blood turn cold. The voice was strange. The language was strange, but the translator made the words clear. Someone had answered. Looked at his console. His face went pale. "Commander," he said slowly, "I know where this signal came from." "Where?" asked. Quarantine Zone 7. Felt fear rise in her chest. She knew the stories. Every species in the galaxy knew the stories. There was a planet in that zone, a death world, a place of poison air and burning heat and endless war. The creatures there were monsters. They killed each other for sport. They survived things that would destroy any other species. "What have we done?" whispered. On the other side of space, Captain was already making calls. Within 1 hour, the message had reached Earth Command. Within 2 hours, a full rescue fleet was being prepared. Admiral received the orders in his office. He was a serious man with a strong jaw and quiet voice. He read the report twice. Aliens, a damaged ship, dying civilians. He did not hesitate. "Prepare the Resolve," he commanded. "Full medical support, engineering teams, security detail. We leave in 6 hours." His aide looked nervous. "Sir, the Galactic Council has rules about this. They say humans are not supposed to leave our zone." Looked at him with calm eyes. "Someone called for help," he said. "We answer. That is what we do." 6 hours later, the UENS Resolve launched from Earth orbit. Behind it came 6 support ships and 3 medical frigates. They entered faster than light travel and disappeared into the darkness. Help was coming. They were not ready for what would arrive. They waited in fear. Commander had not slept in 2 days. She stood on the bridge, watching the empty space through the window. Every hour she checked the sensors. Every hour she saw nothing, but she knew something was coming. Navigator worked at his console. He tried to keep busy. He tried not to think about the stories, the death world, the monsters, the creatures who killed everything they touched. "Maybe they will not come," said quietly. "Maybe it was a trick." "It was not a trick," replied. "They said help was coming. I heard the voice. It sounded sincere." "How would we know?" asked. "We do not know anything about them." Had no answer. She just waited. On the 3rd day, the sensors made a sound. Looked at his screen. His hands started to shake. "Commander," he said, "ships, many ships, they are coming out of faster-than-light travel." Moved to the window, she looked out into the darkness. At first she saw nothing. Then she saw light, bright flashes of light. 1, 2, 3, more, too many to count. The human fleet arrived. First came the UENS Resolve. It was huge, 2 kilometers long. Its hull was dark gray. Its weapons were visible, cannons, missiles, things they had never seen before. It looked like a creature of war, a machine built for destruction. Behind it came the support ships, cruisers with sharp edges, frigates with medical symbols painted on their sides, shuttles moving in perfect formation. "Counted them, 10 ships," he said, 10 ships for us." "They brought a war fleet," whispered. "They are going to destroy us." She waited for the weapons to fire. She waited for the end, but nothing happened. Instead, her communication console made a sound. Someone was calling. Press the button with trembling hands. A face appeared on the screen. It was strange. Soft skin, 2 eyes, hair on the head, a small nose, a mouth that moved when it spoke. "This is Rear Admiral of the United Earth Emergency Fleet," the creature said. "We received your distress signal. We are here to help." Could not speak, she just stared. The human continued. "Please tell us your situation. How many wounded? What supplies do you need? We have medical teams and engineers ready to board." Finally found his voice. You want to help us." "That is why we came," replied. His voice was calm, patient. "May we have permission to dock?" Looked at. They did not know what to do, but they had no choice. Their ship was dying, their people were dying. "Permission granted," said slowly. Within the hour, human shuttles were flying toward the silken dawn. They moved fast and with purpose. The first shuttle docked at the main port. The doors opened. Doctor was the first to step onto the alien ship. She was a small woman with kind eyes and steady hands. Behind her came nurses and medics carrying bags of supplies. The watched them come, they kept their distance, they were afraid. These creatures were supposed to be killers, monsters, death itself. But just smiled. "I am doctor," she said. "Please take me to your wounded, I want to help." A elder pointed toward the back of the ship. "The medical bay is there, but our medicine is different, our bodies are different. You cannot." "Let me try," said gently. "Please." She walked toward the medical bay. Her team followed, the watched in confusion. More shuttles arrived. Engineers came next. Chief Engineer led his team into the engine room. He looked at the broken machines. He had never seen technology like this before, but he started working anyway. "Hand me that tool," he said to his assistant, "and scan this system. I want to understand how it works." "Sir, this is alien technology," the assistant said. "We do not have training for this." Smiled, "Then we learn. That is what engineers do." He worked for hours. He studied. He tested. He made mistakes and fixed them. Slowly he began to understand the alien engines. They were different from human designs, but the basic ideas were the same. Power, heat, movement. He could work with that. In the cargo bay, soldiers set up stations for food and water. Young carried boxes of supplies. He was just 20 years old with a gentle face and strong arms. He had never seen an alien before, but he was not afraid. A child stood nearby watching him. She was small. Her shell was thin. She looked hungry and scared. Knelt down to her level. He reached into his bag and pulled out a food bar. He held it out to her. "Here," he said softly. "It is safe, I promise." The child looked at her mother. The mother hesitated, then she nodded. The child took the food bar. She ate it slowly. Then she looked up at and made a soft clicking sound. "I think she is saying thank you," the mother said. Smiled, "You are welcome." Commander walked through her ship. She saw humans everywhere. They were fixing things, helping people, carrying children, feeding the hungry. No one was fighting. No one was hurting anyone. She found Admiral standing near the main hall. He was watching his people work. His face was calm but tired. "I do not understand," said to him. "You brought a war fleet. We thought you were going to attack us." Turned to look at her. "The fleet is for protection, in case someone else tries to hurt you while we work. We did not come here to fight you. We came here to help you." "But why?" asked. "We are strangers. We are different species. We cannot give you anything. Why would you help us?" Thought for a moment. Then he said, "Because you asked." Felt something strange in her chest. She did not know what to call it. In 40 years of leadership, no one had ever helped her without wanting something in return. The galaxy was built on trade, on exchange, on debt. But these humans wanted nothing. She watched play with children in the cargo bay. She watched treat wounded in the medical bay. She watched rebuild engines he had never seen before. "We were told you were monsters," said quietly. Nodded. "We can be," he admitted, "but we are trying to be something better." Did not fully understand, but she was beginning to. The rescue had only just begun. The repairs were supposed to take many weeks. The humans finished them in 4 days. Commander could not believe it. She walked through her ship and saw everything changing. The broken walls were fixed. The dead lights were working again. The engines, which had been silent for so long, were humming with power. Chief Engineer had not slept in 36 hours. His eyes were red. His hands were dirty, but he was smiling. "The main engine is online," he told. "We had to build some new parts from scratch. Your technology is interesting, different from ours, but we figured it out." "How?" asked. "You have never seen our machines before." Shrugged. "Engines are engines. They all need to move power from one place to another. The shapes are different, but the ideas are the same. We just had to learn your way of doing things." Watched him work. He moved with confidence, with purpose, like there was no problem too big to solve. "Do you never rest?" she asked. "I will rest when the job is done," replied. "Your people need this ship. I cannot rest while they are in danger." He went back to work, stood there in silence. She had never met anyone like these humans. In the medical bay, Doctor was facing her own problem. They were getting sick, not from their injuries but from something else. They were weak, tired. Their shells were losing color. "It is a nutrient problem," said to her team. "Their food supply was damaged in the asteroid hit. They are not getting what they need to survive." "But we do not know biology," one nurse said. "How can we help them?" "We learn," replied. She studied the bodies. She ran tests. She asked the doctors questions. Slowly she began to understand. They needed a special compound in their food. Without it, their bodies started to shut down. The problem was that humans did not have this compound. It did not exist on Earth. But did not give up. She worked in the lab for 12 hours. She mixed chemicals. She tested formulas. She failed many times, but she kept trying. Finally, at 3 in the morning, she found something that might work. A new compound, made from Earth materials but designed for biology. There was only one problem. She did not know if it was safe. "I need to test it," she said to her assistant. "On who?" asked. "They are too weak. If it fails, it could kill them." Thought for a moment. Then she picked up the compound and drank it herself. His eyes went wide. "Doctor, what are you doing?" "Testing it," said calmly. "If it does not hurt me, it probably will not hurt them." She waited. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Nothing bad happened. Her body processed the compound without problems. "It is safe," she said. "Give it to them. Start with the children." The treatment worked. Within hours, they started to recover. Their shells regained color. Their strength returned. The children started playing again. Commander found in the medical bay the next morning. The doctor was finally sleeping, sitting in a chair with her head leaning against the wall. A nurse told what had happened, how it worked all night, how she had tested the compound on herself, how she had saved hundreds of lives. "She poisoned herself," whispered, "for us." "She said she needed to know it was safe," the nurse replied. "She said your children needed it fast." Stood over the sleeping doctor. She felt something she had not felt in many years, something like awe. In the cargo bay, the work continued. Soldier had become the favorite of the children. He taught them games from Earth. He made funny faces. He carried them on his shoulders and ran around the bay while they clicked with joy. Pilot taught the older children how to fold paper into shapes, birds, stars, flowers. They did not have paper on their world. They thought it was magic. "How do you make it stay?" a young asked, holding a paper bird. "You fold it carefully," said. "Each fold matters. If you rush, it falls apart. But if you take your time, it holds together." The child nodded seriously. He tried again. This time the bird was perfect. In the ship's kitchen, a human cook named was learning recipes. She asked the cooks what their people liked to eat. She studied their ingredients. She made mistakes, but she kept trying. On the 4th day, she made a meal that tasted like home. When they ate it, some of them cried. They had been so far from their world. They had thought they would never taste familiar food again. But this human, this stranger, had given them a piece of their home. "How did you know?" an elder asked. "I asked," said simply. "I wanted to make something that would make you happy." Commander called a meeting with Admiral that evening. She wanted to talk about payment, about debt, about what the humans wanted in return. "Your people have done so much for us," she said. "You fixed our ship, you healed our sick, you fed our hungry. What do you want from us?" Looked at her with calm eyes. "We want you to be safe." "But there must be something," insisted. "A trade, a deal, something we can give you." "There is no deal," said. "You were in trouble, you called for help, we came, that is all." Did not understand. Her entire life she had lived by the rules of exchange. You give something, you get something. No one helped for free. No one. "This is not how the galaxy works," she said. Smiled slightly. "Maybe not, but it is how we work." That night, walked through her ship one more time. She saw human soldiers sleeping on the hard floor so that families could have the beds. She saw human doctors checking on patients one last time before rest. She saw human engineers making final adjustments to systems they had never seen before. She thought about everything she had been told about humans, the death world, the monsters, the killers. She looked at who was carrying a sleeping child to her mother. She looked at who was giving medicine to an elder with gentle hands. She looked at who was explaining the engine repairs to with patience and kindness. These were not monsters. These were something else entirely. And finally began to understand. On the fifth day, everything changed. Navigator was at his console when the alarm sounded. A new ship had entered the area. It was not human. Commander called out, "A Galactic Council patrol ship. They are coming toward us." Felt her heart sink. The Council, they had rules about everything. They had made laws about the humans. They had created the quarantine zone, and now they had found out what happened. The Council ship stopped at the edge of the system. They did not come closer. They just watched. Then a message came through. "This is Envoy of the Galactic Council," a voice said. "Commander, you have broken a very serious law. You have made contact with the quarantine species. You have allowed them onto your ship. Explain yourself." Took a deep breath. "Our ship was dying. We sent a distress call. They answered. They saved us." There was a long pause. "You have summoned the humans," said gravely. "The mad species. Do you understand what you have done?" "I understand that my people are alive because of them," replied. "Then you do not understand at all," said. "I am sending you files. You need to see what they really are." The files arrived on console. She opened them with trembling hands. What she saw made her blood turn cold. War, endless war. The files showed human history, thousands of years of fighting, armies marching, cities burning, weapons that could destroy entire nations in a single flash, humans killing humans by the millions. She saw bombs falling from the sky. She saw soldiers in trenches, covered in mud and blood. She saw mushroom clouds rising over broken cities. She saw mass graves. She saw pain and death and horror beyond anything she had ever imagined. "They evolved on a death world's voice continued. "Their planet has poison in the air, extreme heat and cold, predators everywhere, disasters that would kill most species, and yet they survived. They survived because they are the most dangerous thing on their world." Could not look away from the screen. She saw humans hurting each other in ways she had never thought possible. She saw cruelty. She saw madness. She saw evil. "They fight wars for sport," said. "They kill each other over ideas, over land, over nothing. They are capable of destruction on a scale that terrifies the entire galaxy. That is why we created the quarantine. That is why we told everyone to stay away." Finally closed the files. Her hands were shaking. "Why would they help us?" she whispered. "If they are monsters, why would they save us?" "That is the worst part," replied. "They are not just monsters. They are also capable of great kindness, great love, great sacrifice. They are both things at once, and that is what makes them truly terrifying." The communication ended, sat in silence for a long time. Later she found Admiral standing alone near a window. He was looking out at the stars with tired eyes. She approached him slowly. "I saw the files," she said quietly. "I saw what your people have done." Did not look surprised, he just nodded. "I thought you might. The wars, the bombs, the killing, how do you live with it?" Was quiet for a moment. When he spoke, his voice was heavy. "We do not live with it easily," he said. "We carry it with us every day, the weight of what we have done, the shame, the regret. We know what we are capable of, we have seen it, we have done it." He turned to face her. His eyes were sad but honest. "We have fought terrible wars against each other. We have invented weapons that could end all life on our planet. We have committed crimes that cannot be forgiven. All of this is true. "Then why did you help us?" asked. "Why risk everything to save strangers?" "Because we decided we did not want to be monsters anymore," said. "We looked at ourselves, we saw what we had become, and we made a choice. We chose to be better." He paused. "Out here among the stars, we want to be the best version of ourselves. We want to help, we want to protect. We want to use our strength for good instead of harm. It is not easy, we still make mistakes, but we try." "Thought about this, and if someone threatened you while you were helping us?" His eyes changed. The sadness was still there, but something else appeared, something hard, something cold. "Then they would learn why the galaxy calls us," he said quietly. Shivered, she understood now. The kindness was real, the gentleness was real, but underneath it was something else. A capacity for violence that most species could not imagine. The humans had chosen to be kind, but they could choose differently at any moment. That night, Navigator accessed the human archives. He wanted to understand more. He read about the wars, the terrible weapons, the suffering. He saw the darkness in human history. But then he found something else. He found stories of medics running into fire to save the wounded. He found soldiers jumping on bombs to protect their friends. He found people risking their lives to save strangers. He found nations sending help to disaster victims they would never meet. He found humans giving their last food to hungry children. He found love in the middle of horror. He saw humans at their worst. And he saw humans at their best. When he finished reading, sat in silence for a long time. Then he spoke to himself in a quiet voice. "They are monsters," he said, "and they are angels both at once." He thought about who played with children every day. He thought about who had tested poison on herself to save them. He thought about who had worked without sleep to fix their engines. These were the same species that had built weapons to destroy cities, the same species that had fought wars for thousands of years, the same species that had done terrible, terrible things, and also the same species that had crossed the galaxy to save strangers who called for help. Closed the archive. He did not know what to think anymore. But he knew one thing. He was grateful to be alive, and he was grateful that the humans had chosen to be kind to them. He wondered if that choice would last forever, or if someday the darkness would return. He hoped he would never have to find out. 2 weeks had passed since the humans arrived. The Silken Dawn was fully repaired. The engines were running perfectly. The food stores were full. The sick had been healed. They were ready to continue their journey. But no one wanted to say goodbye. Commander stood in the main hall of her ship. Around her, 4,000 had gathered to thank the humans. They clicked and hummed in their way of showing gratitude. Some of them were crying. The human crew stood together near the exit. They looked tired but happy. They had worked so hard for these strangers, and now it was time to leave. Admiral stepped forward. He walked to Commander and gave a small bow. "Your ship is ready," he said. "You can continue your journey whenever you wish." Looked at him with her 6 eyes. She had so many things she wanted to say, but the words were hard to find. "We cannot repay this debt," she finally said. "You have given us everything, our lives, our ship, our future. What can we possibly give you in return?" Smiled gently. "There is no debt." "There must be something," insisted. "Something we can do, something we can offer." Thought for a moment, then he spoke. "When you meet someone else who is lost," he said, "when you find someone who is afraid, when you hear someone calling into the void, answer them, help them, save them. That is all we ask." Nodded slowly. She understood now. This was not about trade. This was not about exchange. This was about something bigger, something that spread from one act of kindness to another. "We will," she promised. "I swear it." Doctor walked up to and placed something in her hand. It was a small device, a communicator tuned to Earth's emergency frequency. "If you ever need us again," said, "just call. It does not matter how far you are. It does not matter how long it takes. "We will come." Held the device carefully. "You would come, even across the entire galaxy." Smiled warmly. "We came once, did we not?" One by one, the humans said their goodbyes, hugged the children he had played with every day. Some of them cried. He cried too. "Will we see you again?" a young asked him. "Maybe," said. "The universe is big, but never impossible." Shook hands with the engineers he had trained. He had taught them how to fix their engines themselves, how to solve problems, how to think like humans. "Remember," he told them, "engines are engines. You can figure anything out if you try hard enough." Gave her paper birds to the children. They held them like treasures. Made one last funny face for the crowd. Everyone laughed, even the elders. Left behind recipes. Human recipes translated for ingredients, so they could taste Earth wherever they went. And then it was over. The humans walked back to their shuttles. The doors closed. The shuttles flew back to the Resolve. The great warship turned slowly in space. Its engines powered up, and then it was gone, disappeared into faster-than-light travel, back to the quarantine zone, back to Earth. The Silken Dawn was alone again. But it did not feel alone, not anymore. Commander stood at the bridge window for a long time. She thought about everything that had happened, the fear, the confusion, the kindness, the truth. Navigator walked up beside her. "What now?" he asked. "Now we continue our journey," said, "but we are different now. We have seen something that changes everything." She turned away from the window and walked to the communication console. She recorded a message, a formal report to the Galactic Council. "This is Commander of the colony ship Silken Dawn," she said. "I recommend that the Council lift the quarantine on human space. I have spent 2 weeks with these people. They are not what we thought. They are not just monsters. They are something new, something the galaxy has not seen before." She paused. "They are dangerous, that much is true, but they are also good, and I believe the galaxy is not ready for that." The Council rejected her recommendation. They were too afraid, too set in their ways. The quarantine would continue. But did not care. She knew the truth now, and she would share it with everyone she met. Months later, the Silken Dawn reached a new sector of space. They were far from home, far from Earth, far from everything they knew. Then their sensors detected something. A small freighter, drifting without power, a distress signal pulsing weakly. "It is another species," reported. "Though their ship has failed, they are calling for help." Felt something warm in her chest. She remembered the day she had sent her own distress call. She remembered the fear, the despair, the certainty that no one would come. And then someone had come. She opened a communication channel. Her voice was steady, strong, kind. "This is Commander of the colony ship Silken Dawn. We hear your signal. We understand your situation. Help is coming. Hold on." The responded with confusion. "Why would you help us? You are strangers. We cannot pay you." Smiled. For the first time in many months, she truly smiled. "Because you asked," she said. "That is all the reason we need." Within hours, shuttles were docking with the freighter. Engineers were fixing engines. Medics were treating the wounded. Soldiers were handing out food and water. Children were being comforted. They watched in amazement. They did not understand. This was not how the galaxy worked. No one helped for free. No one. But they did. "Why?" a elder asked. "Because someone helped us once," replied. "And we made a promise to pass it on, to answer when someone calls." The elder was silent for a moment. Then he asked, "Who helped you?" Thought about Admiral, about Doctor, about and all the others. She thought about the strange, dangerous, beautiful species called humans. "Someone wonderful," she said. "Someone you have never met, but maybe someday you will." When they were saved, they asked the same question they had asked. "What do we owe you?" And gave them the same answer the humans had given her. "Nothing, just pass it on." And so it began, a chain of kindness spreading through the galaxy, one act at a time, one rescue at a time, one answer at a time. The humans had started it with a simple truth. When someone asks for help, you help them. The galaxy was not ready for that response. But slowly, one species at a time, it was learning. And somewhere far away, on a small blue planet in Quarantine Zone 7, the humans continued their lives. They did not know about the chain they had started. They did not know about the kindness spreading through the stars. They just knew that when someone called for help, they answered. Because that was who they chose to be. And that made all the difference.